Welcome back. Rip Van Winkle has returned to Windsor Park Stud for his third Southern Hemisphere breeding season. I spoke to Rodney Schick about the progress of the Coolmore shuttler. Rodney, Rip Van Winkle's entering his third Southern Hemisphere season. How well did he travel down here and how's he settled in?
Oh, it's like coming home for him. He's come down in exceptional condition like the other boys. You know, Coolmore do a fantastic job getting them ready to come down, and he's ready for the season ahead.
He retired to stud in 2011, the highest rated son of Galileo, 3 times Group 1 winner. What characteristics made him such a successful racehorse?
Oh, look, you know, he's by a champion sire in Galileo. He came out at 2, won his first start at 2, and then won a Group 3 over 1400 metres as a 2-year-old, and then came out as a 3-year-old and won the Sussex and the Queen Elizabeth. So, you know, he could train on from that 2-year-old into his next age group, and then go on as a 4-year-old and win another Group 1 in the International.
Highest rated 3-year-old turf miler in the world, on time form rating, pretty incredible too.
Yeah, look, he ended up here with a time form rating of 134, which is a fantastic achievement. You know, he's the second highest rated son of Galileo, and obviously Frankel being the highest rated. So to have the second highest rated horse down here, absolutely fantastic. By
champion sire Galileo, what makes his pedigree so impressive?
Oh, look, you know, one thing we liked about him, you know, was his race form, but being out of a Strinsky mare, looking back, that's probably sharpened him up. And being from Volksrad family, you know, we had a great affinity with Volksrad. Standing here and being such a success, it was a great thing to see in his pedigree.
Galileo's also proving himself as a sire of sires. Other sons, New Approach, 60s Icon and Heliostatic, all leaving group winners. That must be very encouraging.
Oh, it is, you know, and I firmly believe if Galileo stood in New Zealand, he would have been a far better sire in the Southern Hemisphere. But look, he's the best stallion in the world in my eyes, and he just does it week in and week out on the racetrack. Sadler's
Wells pedigree is very prominent in your stallion lineup here. Rip Van Winkle also connects with Volksrad, as you said, through his female line. He's a great advertisement for Windsor Park, isn't he?
Look, many years ago when we stood our first Sadler's Wells horse in Monsieur, people didn't think that Sadler's was going to make a sire of sires. But we were very glad to have a horse like Monsieur and the horses that followed, like Aisha Chaparral. But at the moment, you know, we've got 4 horses in the lineup that carry Sadler's Wells blood, and we're very happy, and I really believe that the Southern Hemisphere have seen that Sadler's Wells has made a great sire of sires. He's had time to let down now. Physically, how would you describe Rip Van Winkle? Yeah, look, he's a really strongly made horse, good size, 16'1". He's got a great back end on him, probably a sharper looking horse, but he's got a beautiful head, and and he's leaving beautiful progeny, so no, he's fantastic. Rip Van Winkle's older New Zealand progeny are now yearlings. The feedback from breeders when they were born was very positive. How have they developed into those yearlings? Look, you know, he was probably the highest rated horse to go to stud that year in the Southern Hemisphere, and he's left that really good type in his progeny. Look, he's got another good book this year, so he had a good book last year, so the foals, we've got a lot of foals coming in again this year. He's got a very strong book, so obviously our clients are happy with the types, and we certainly are. How excited are you heading into Karaka early next year, given the results of the weanling sales in May and the way his progeny have been selling in Europe? Yeah, look, he's sold very strongly in Europe, you know, up to 260,000 euros. So, you know, we're really excited. You know, we've got a great crop of foals to sell, and many of our clients have too. Rodney, are there any yearlings in particular that you're looking forward to presenting? Oh, look, we've got some really lovely fillies going to the sales this year. We've got a half-sister to Lion Tamer, which she's a really nice filly. She's a generous mare and done a really good job at stud. This filly's once again in that strong mould. The Soriston filly there, who's half-sister or 3/4 sister to a very exciting galloper in Sydney called Futon Willie. So she's a really nice filly. And the third filly, out of Akela, she's a half-sister to Lady Kipling. Very attractive filly, lovely colour, obviously being black, but look, once again, that strong mould, so no, very, very happy with what he's left.
Rip Van Winkle, very well supported in the past. Has that continued with his book this season?
It has. This year I'd say he'll serve around that 120 mark, and we'll support him heavily ourselves. You know, we've got great faith in him. He's leaving such a good type, and I say the clients are coming back again.
There's been a drop in his service fee from 22 to 18,000. What was behind that move?
Look, it's probably just the sign of the times. We tried to set our prices over all the stallions in a competitive market, and I think the breeders are getting a really good advantage with the way that our service fees are set this year.
We look forward to the development of Rip Van Winkle's yearlings when they step out at the New Zealand Bloodstock Karaka sales early next year. Well, it's now time for Kiwi Bred Abroad. We head up to Singapore with Mike Kneebone.
Hi and welcome to another edition of Kiwi Bred Abroad. It's brought to you the compliments of the Singapore Turf Club, who race from their Kranji base here every Friday and Sunday. Well, this week we catch up with champion trainer Laurie Laxon, who's on the hunt for his 8th premiership this season. But it's his 1,000th winner that we concentrate this interview on.
Dragon Force about a neck in front. Levenhoe trying to get there. BM Win trying to get through. And Golden Curl down the outside. And now Allen running on strongly. Dragon Force regains the lead. Golden Curl coming at it. Allen on the outside. Allen swooping home. Gets up to the front. And another one for Marrera.
Laurie, we've checked all the records. 1,000 winners on one track in the world doesn't seem to have been achieved before. You've won Melbourne Cups and Hong Kong Cups. Where does it rate for you, that 1,000 winners here at Kranji?
We better ask Mr. Guinness Book of Records and see how it fits.
Be happy with it though, Laurie?
Oh yeah, especially for that particular owner, that Mr. CK Pua. He's a rare breed. He's never taken a horse off another trainer. He's had about 3 trainers since he's been here, but I've had the bulk of his horses. But he's never moved a horse off another trainer, not off even one trainer back to me. And so he's a real loyal, staunch supporter, and it was really good to win for him.
You've got to have good owners up here in Singapore, Laurie, and you know, the night that you got your 1,000th winner, it was with one of CK's horses, Allen, and he was by Darcy Brahma, whose major shareholder is the Valors, and they've probably played a pretty big part in your career up here too, wouldn't you say?
Oh my word. I trained my first winner for Peter and his brother Philip 40 years ago, and it's been a wonderful partnership we've had all that time. We've had the filly of the year on a couple of occasions, and has very good horses from them: Riverina Charm, Noble Heights, Romany Conti, who turned out to be the mother of Ethereal. It's been a wonderful partnership.
1,000 horses or 1,000 winners here at Kranji, but 700 before that as well. Your best horse that you've had here, is it easy to pick one out of the 1,000 winners?
The best horse I've trained here has been Better Than Ever so far, but I have had the horse of the year 5 times, and the best horse to me has probably been Waikato, when I bought him for an Oriental gentleman, and he said he didn't want him because he didn't like the sire, so I kept him myself, and he finished up winning $3 million. So, and he ran in 4 internationals, 2 sprints and 2 SIA Cups. So he was an outstanding horse also.
Yeah, and by an outstanding sire and pins too.
Yes.
So you got it wrong on 2 counts there.
Yes, yeah.
The staffing though, Laurie, you've played a major role in some of the trainers that are now here at Kranji, because you've had some pretty good staff come under your wing as well.
Yes, I've had some very good people work for me, like when I first came, Danny Walker came here, and he was my assistant, and then Charlie Walding, and then I had Brian Dean come in, and Brian Dean is now a successful trainer here in his own right, and then after Brian, Theo Kieser, who's a very a good trainer, turned out to be, and very good conditioner of 2-year-olds, which is something which I can't do very well, but Theo seems to be able to do it well. And I've got another very good foreman here with me, or assistant trainer, and Shane Ellis, and not to mention John Orfrey, who's been working off and on for me since he was 14 years old. He's here helping out too, so it's a pretty good setup.
And you've had some outstanding jockeys ride for you over the years as well, including a great association with Joel Moreira. He must rate up there as one of the best jockeys you've dealt with, would he?
Oh yes, he is. It's of recent times, but prior to that I've had Mick Dittman ride here, Jimmy Cassidy, all ridden winners for me, Greg Childs.
Simey Jemay.
Yeah, and Jay Simey, and there's been a wonderful lot of jockeys come through here. Grant Cooksley, who run the New Zealand Derby for me with Cavalieri, he rode up here also. Oh no, it's with 1,000 winners you see a few jockeys pass through the place as well.
Laurie, you said at the winning of your 1,000th winner here at Cranji, what your next plan was to train another 1,000. Is that the plan?
Well, I don't know whether I can live that long, but I've got no thoughts about going anywhere else. And one thing I will mention, Michael, but I have most of my winners have been sourced from New Zealand. I've never actually bought a horse out of Australia. In the whole time I've been here, they've all come out of New Zealand, except recently I bought the half sister to Better Than Ever out of the Sydney Easter sale, but I only bought her because she was there. And but generally, just to source all my horses, I think the New Zealand product is a wonderful product, and it's going to be here in Asia for a long time to come.
Well, there you have it. One of the great ambassadors of New Zealand racing, Laurie Laxon, and one of the great characters of racing as well. That's it for this week's show. Until next time, on behalf of the Singapore Turf Club, we'll see you again.